everything concerning the Ugandan National Students Association, understanding their mandates, what they are doing, what should we be able to expect this year, and actually what does it take for you to become one of the members of the association, and what is the impact so far the association is having, how can we be able to make it better, how can it become more relevant to the people it serves, and that is the students. With me today in studio, I have the speaker of Unsa. Welcome to U24.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ivan. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for hosting us today.
Okay.
To our viewers, Christopher Waswa, the speaker of the Uganda National Students Association.
Yes, Christopher. And I have the National Projects Coordinator. You're welcome to U24.
Thank you very much. It's good to be at home. U24 is our home as students and youth of this country. My name is Achai Paul, and I am the National Programs Coordinator at the Uganda National Students Association. It's a pleasure to be here.
Amazing. And a special welcome to this National Youth Development and Education channel, U24, where we do everything to serve you, the young people, give you a platform to be able to talk about national issues, everything of your concern, and how we can be able to make our country better. That's what we stand for, and everything in as far as transforming and developing the young people. That's what we stand for as U24. And to start with you, Paul, tell us about Unsa.
Well, thank you very much, and I'm happy here to represent and be here on behalf of my executive secretary, who is out for some official duties, and he sends all the students and viewers his greetings and truly a happy new year from our end. Basically, UNSA is the Uganda National Students Association. Yeah, this is an umbrella body for all students of Uganda, those studying in Uganda, and Ugandans studying out of the country. So it's an umbrella body for over 15 million students, I repeat. So the National Students Association is provided for in the Education Act. The Education Act establishes UNSA at post-primary levels of education. UNSA really has, it's very important for the students of this country. I think later on in our conversations, we are going to be showing you why UNSA is very important for the students of this country and why it was necessarily established. And of course, having understood where we draw our mandate, the National Students Body has a very deep structure. And during the course, we want to show you what the structures look like and how do these structures benefit the students of this country. A number of young people have been through UNSA, and being a platform, this is a nursery bed for leadership in this country. Many ascend then from UNSA to the National Youth Council, and then go to represent at Parliament, and of course become important people for this country. Others from the structure go to other fields of life, others in agriculture, others are in the world of sports, others are in academia, and all making positive contribution to ensure then that our country has a sense of direction, our country is actually made better. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Paul. Coming to you, Waswa. How does one become a member of UNSA?
Thank you for that question, Ivan. It is very easy for anyone to be a member of the Uganda National Students Association. The very first qualification for one to become a member is are you a student? By the virtue of fact that you are a student, an active student, not someone who has left an institution, but someone who is an active student, that qualifies you to be part of the Uganda National Students Association. The other qualification we have for one to be an active member of the association is the different institutions in our country subscribe to the Uganda National Students Association. And that subscription fee that they pay, each student pays 2,000 shillings. If you are a student, you pay it to the institution, and the institution donates all the money at once to our account. And after remittance of that money, it qualifies you as well to be part of the student, part of the Uganda National Students Association. So in brief, those are the few things. The very first thing, are you a student? Then has your institution taken an initiative to subscribe to the association? Yes, it has. Then you qualify as a student to be part of our activities, our engagements, whatever we do. You are always welcome. And now the forthcoming annual general meeting, students are all welcome, and we keep on inviting them. It's very soon on the 19th. So that is the qualification for one to be a member of the association.
Amazing. Talking about 15 million subscribers, and each one of them paying 2,000 shillings. It might sound a small money, but by the power of numbers, 15 million people, those who can do the simple maths can be able to see actually how much these guys are collecting from these students. And that brings me to the question of the value for money. If I'm becoming a member of Unsa, what benefits do I get, and why is it important for any student or learner to be part of Unsa, and why should I be proud that I'm part of the association?
Thank you for that question, Ivan. It is important for any student outside there who wants to build their political career to be part of the association.
Political career.
Political career. It may not be political, quite a number of importances. I'm going to break them down. For any student outside there, you may ask yourself, how is it important to me to be part of this association? First and foremost, this association exposes you on quite a number of things: academic, political, socioeconomic. Quite a number of those come in when you're part of the association. We have quite a number of activities. We have the debate tournaments. We have Bulungi Wansi. We have the annual general meeting. We have the midterm council. We have the interguild. These are all activities that are put in place to build the students in all across the country. Because our activities don't only target students from institutions. We go down from district level, where we have the DEC. We start from DEC. And DEC, we have an executive from each and every district across the country. Those are 146 countries, an executive from each and every district across the country. Those are 146 countries. Those people represent us down to all the institutions in their district. So when we come to national, when we come to universities and institutions, we usually have a guild president, we have a guild speaker, we have a GRC representative, and any other member, as long as you're part of the guild and not of the guild, but as long as you're a student. Our activities affect you directly or indirectly. How do they benefit? First and foremost, for us who have gotten this chance to be part of the association, it has exposed us so great. Today being here on this talk show is an opportunity. It's because I am a speaker of the association. If I wasn't, I wouldn't be here. That's exposure, number one. Number two, all the activities and engagements that we have for the students target building. We look at how best they affect a student. What are you going to get out of it? Now, we had a tree planting where we planted trees all across the country to boost the climate. We've had Bulungi Wansi where we clean different marketplaces. We've had the interguild. The interguild where we called upon all guild presidents and all guild speakers and the different guilds of other various universities. And we brought key people in this country that can really address. For example, Professor Sabarunya was there to talk about socioeconomic development and how best it can be put in line with the ideology of the president, which was really good. These are things that we as young people should learn. But you get such chances if you come so close to the association. There are people that don't benefit out of this association. It's because they do not know that it even exists. So every single time we are doing our activities, we look at impact, we look at how best it's going to affect the student, what are they getting out of it, and what are they learning out of it. And the other thing is, association mentors leaders. We've had quite a number of leaders emerge from this association, a number of them. So this is a nursery bed. I've seen most of them are running for MP positions. Most of them are running for youth positions now. So it is a nursery bed. It is a nursery bed for most of the young people's dreams. And I encourage all young people to be part of this association. Let's work together to build this country. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Unsa. And Paul, expounding on Unsa's submission, how are you making sure as the association leadership to be certain that you are serving the interests, the central interests of the students? Because yes, you can talk about the opportunities that come about being a part of Unsa, that's mentorship, being part of opportunities like he's right here as a speaker, speaking and getting an opportunity to practice his, public speaking skills. But I'm looking at student, a learner that is in a school. How are you making sure that their interests are served, going to the rights, getting sufficient and efficient education? How are you making sure that those interests of the students and learners in schools are served by the association leadership?
Thank you very much. Firstly, from what you've heard from the Right Honorable Speaker, Waswa, the structures of Unsa position us in such a way that we are able to identify what goes on in any school. This is because in every classroom, we have class counselors. Yep. Now, these class counselors monitor the rights of students while in class. Are they being protected? Are the teachers standing up to teach? What exactly is happening in their classes? Now, every class counselors in every school, they compete among themselves, again, for them to learn to appreciate democracy. At that point, they elect what we call the school council. Now, the school council, I feel it's very important that we understand this structure, because it's then what helps us be able to achieve whatever we are set to achieve.
Sure.
Now, at that level, the school council, these councillors contest and then they vote the school council. In their school, they are guided by the school patron, who is a teacher, right? A teacher in most cases. Now, every school council in a particular district, let's take an example of a BIM district, or let's say Masaka. Yep. So all the council members from every school, they come together. There's a representation that come to elect what we call the district executives. Now, these district executives are then supposed to help us understand how their district is faring, how the students in that particular district are faring. So they elect their own chairperson for the district, their own speaker of the district, their own secretary of female affairs of the district, their own secretary for special needs in that particular district, and then others as per the constitution. Right. Now, at that level, they are normally under the guidance of a district coordinator. Yeah. Every district has got a district coordinator that journeys through with the students and offers them guidance and support where necessary. So to that point, the Constitution, as the Right Honorable made it clear, provides the guild structures. The guild structure is an Unsa structure. You've seen what different guilds have been doing in different universities, right? So you've seen some of them go on strikes because teachers are not teaching. Now, that is the mandate. We expect them that where teachers are not actually, they're being paid, but they're not teaching, so you wonder what is happening. Even sometimes, the teachers or lecturers are not paid, or their salaries delay, and then the students are affected. So at the end of the day, it is entirely not that we encourage strikes in schools, no. We encourage dialogue. Most of these leaders, even those in the secondary schools, they now appreciate dialogue. That explains why you will agree with me that the rate of strikes in schools has completely reduced. So by far. This is because we feel like we can always, violence is not an option. We can always have conversations. And now these kids, when we introduce the art of debate and speech, to show them that, okay, let your idea come out, and let's give you our idea. Let's see which one paint a better school for us. So at the end of the day, there is capacity building for the students. They're able to go to the administration and they're able to have a conversation. The administration might be pushing for something, and then the students feel like what they're pushing for is not necessarily good for them at that particular point in time. So then they choose to have meetings and dialogue and show them their positions. I am happy that in most cases where such has happened, there's been a compromise on the side of administration, on the side of the students, so there's an agreed position. And that is what we strive for. Largely, the students' leadership is to advocate for students' rights. Advocacy is very key. So whenever there is a challenge in a particular school, the leadership there takes it up and it is able to channel it in the right manner such that it is handled. Now, at the national level, we have the National Executive Committee, where the Right Honorable sits, which is chaired by the President. And also, these are students. This is the top most student leadership of the country. Now, all these positions are not appointed. They are again elected. So they go through the process. You must prove that you actually are a better candidate. The Right Honorable will tell you he has the AGM, he has to organize elections for the next leadership. So you have to ensure that your manifesto is clear, what you want to do is clear, it can be understood, and then democracy works. When majority of the students feel this is the rightful person, then they'll elect you. Now again, who elects? You see, as I've showed you from the districts to the University Guild, so we then have the representatives of every district, and then the representatives from that guilds, every university and every institution. There are four. That is the guild president, the guild speaker, the secretary for female affairs, but also one who is normally appointed for special needs. Very, very key. So these are the delegates to the National Students' Council, which the Right Honorable Speaker is going to tell you what is ahead, which is handling. They are then responsible for the election of the topmost leadership at Unsa. So key, we have been very intentional about following up what is happening in our schools and addressing them rightly. Now at the National Executive Committee, we have the National Secretariat, which is staff that helps to ensure that the students' body is moving to the right direction. At that level, we also have the Executive Secretary, and we work very closely with the Permanent Secretary, because we are under the Ministry of Education and Sport, but most importantly under the Department of Admission, Scholarship and Student Affairs. That's where we belong, and we are proud to have our patron, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who has been very supportive to the students' body, and going forward, we so much appreciate, and come 2026, really, it will happen.
Great. Paul says that they are very intentional about issues of what is happening in schools, what is affecting the students. Well, we're going to see that through your feedback. We'll be going in for a short break, but before we do so, kindly get into our social media platforms, on X, on Facebook. Give us your feedback. What do you think about the relevance of Uganda National Students Association? Is it serving the purpose, or actually it's just an association like any other? We'll be right back. Kindly keep it here on U24, the National Youth TV. We'll be right back.
U24.
Anyone who wants to become a pledge.
What fresh hell is this?
Some mathematics. You need logic for money acrobatics. Money is confusing like laws of physics.
Never wake you up in the middle of the night. The feeling that someday they'll come for you and your children.
He
Become a pledge.
What fresh hell is this?
Boy, you're looking at my type, but tell me,
about beauty. You see, beauty isn't just a look. Beauty is how you carry yourself, your personality, who you are and what you are. You can't just go out in the world and ask the world, am I beautiful? No, you have to tell the world, you're beautiful. The mirror reflects, it doesn't define.
One day, they'll come for you and your children.
He al-
And your children.
Doing what they're supposed to do, what are the challenges they're facing, and what can we do to empower them to serve the interests majorly of the students who are actually in that constituency. And now coming back to you, speaking issues of money, as we said previously that Unsa is having a constituency of over 15 million students, and they pay a subscription of 2,000 shillings, and if I'm to do simple calculation, that's about 8 billion that you guys get every year.
Yeah.
Is the 2,000 an annual subscription?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, so that means every year you guys are getting 8 billion. Talk about the interests of the students that you are serving, but does it actually cost that much?
Not necessarily get to understand the exact thing that happens. When you hear every student paying 2,000 shillings, you'll be like, oh, these guys actually have the money. Yeah. But what is the reality on ground? I want to tell you that in a year, when you're even supposed, because the National Students Council normally sits and they have a budget that they do approve, expecting monies that are going to come as subscription. However, out of all that much money, we've never gone beyond 2 billion per year. We've never gone beyond that. In most cases, it is 1.1, 1.2, 1.4. You know?
Where does the 6 billion go?
See, now this is very important to address in this particular conversation. We know very well that each school is meant to remit, collect this subscription and remit to the National Secretariat. However, most of the schools do not send in this money. That affects, it's difficult to ascertain whether they collect, but again, because of our structure, we've been able to know that there are some schools, some head teachers who actually collect this money and they don't remit. There are some schools that don't charge this money at all. They don't collect it, therefore they don't remit it. And there are very many in that category. You know? So again, we really want to call upon our head teachers in the various schools. Please support the cause of the students. When the students make their payments or subscription, remit that money. There are very many students who suffer with issues of tuition, very brilliant students. They come to us, they want support, but again, the monies are not coming. These monies could have helped us.
To pay school fees.
Whereas, you know, we are pro students' welfare and students' rights. And we think education is core to us. So if a student is really vulnerable and they need to be supported, why wouldn't we? If we don't, then why are we even there in the first place? This is their body. This is a student's body. Yeah. So that means that we really have to come through for them, right? So we really want to call upon students still, like while you're in your various schools, ask your teachers if they're really remitting these monies. Okay. And if and again, just before I get to the next point, it's important that is done, but also want to appreciate the Ministry of Education. The Ministry of Education has been supporting us with the subventions.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask. If away from the subscriptions,
Yeah.
you're getting a budget from anywhere else.
Yep, certainly the Ministry of Education has been so supportive to us by giving us a subvention on a quarterly basis to help us be able to maintain the secretariat running small, a couple of things. And so we so much appreciate that.
Amazing. To cut you short, Paul, coming to you, Waswa. This year you have an AGM coming up. Tell us about it, what is going to be happening, and what details do the students need to get from you here?
Oh, thank you very much. So the annual general meeting, or the National Students' Council, we usually have it at the end of the year. In most cases, it's supposed to take place around December. But for instances where we find ourselves short of resources, we usually push it to the next year. So that is why we are having it in January, on the 19th to the 22nd at Setahai Mukono. So the annual general meeting is where we go as the students leaders, just like my colleague Paul Ache broke down the structures from the guild, from the districts to national level. So when we go for the annual general meeting, it is usually brings together all students across the country. So we come together and we deliberate on quite a number of issues. So our destination this time is Setahai Mukono, where we are privileged that His Excellency the President will be with us. We are more than grateful that he's a man who usually looks out for the interests of the students. And we also thank Mama as well, Janet Kataha. She's a very supportive lady, a God-fearing woman. And quite a number of times when we run to the ministry, when we are stranded, they usually put in a hand, just like he told you. From 8 billion, you collect 1.2, meaning an event like the annual general meeting that requires 500 million, it can't be facilitated for at the end of the year.
That means maybe you haven't been able to put up a proper system.
The system is there. The system is there, but you
maybe
find
it's
out.
not working.
Maybe we need to be a little more aggressive on how we are supposed to approach that side of collecting subscription fee. However, the annual general meeting, so we are just like you broke down the structures, so we go to that venue, close to 1,300 students across the country. So we meet there. One of the things we have is a council. The council, we all sit from our various districts. That council is chaired by the speaker. When we sit there, we deliberate on all issues that affect us directly and indirectly from our various districts. That for me from Kanungu, this is what happens in our schools. For me from Kigadi, this is what happens from our school. For me from Karamoja, this is what happens from our schools. And we share all that information. And we have people from the Ministry of Education and Sports. They usually come to take notes. Last year we were privileged to have Honorable Muyingo. And he was there, and they were taking notes from the ministry to really know what is affecting the students, what is affecting the quality of education of the students. So after that is done, previously we've been having a series of, as a speaker, I released the roadmap. After issuing this roadmap to the public, we follow that roadmap, and that roadmap takes us to the annual general meeting. The first step I told you, we have a council. The next is an election. An election is guided by the roadmap. So the nomination lists are ready, the registers are ready, candidates are already campaigning up and down. Every single day they are campaigning, waiting for the days that we after next week when we shall be in Mukono to have a new neck where I will stop being a speaker and I will swear in a new speaker who will swear in a new neck. So that is how we usually run the annual general meeting. But we are privileged that this time round, His Excellency the President is with us.
That's really great. And lastly, as we come close to the end of this show, Paul, I would want you to comment about the new curriculum for lower secondary. What is the feedback from the students and how is it faring in just about 30 seconds?
All right, thank you. That's a very good question. Many students do appreciate the new curriculum. You know, it's hands-on, it is innovation, it is creativity, it is passion about what you love and trying to see that you are able to translate what you love to do into putting out to the market and see eventually how it can help you as a person. So we really, and again, the teamwork which is encouraged as in that result, you know, whereas the old one, people would isolate themselves and read, you know, to compete. Now here it is being open, teamwork, collaboration, and really a society where people don't collaborate, people don't work as a team, is a society that is doomed. However, with this new curriculum now, we see a lot of students forthcoming, you know, to support one another, to come up with new innovations and be able to contribute later on, so that they don't necessarily become job seekers. At the end of their studies, they can create something for their own. Again, as from the program's perspective, because of the new curriculum, we are adopting an innovation challenge on science, technology, and even agriculture. We want to have a challenge for these students to come and show us what they're doing, what ideas they have, what creativity they have, and really hope that different players can come through to then support these students.
Thank you so much, Paul. Definitely that speaks to getting practical in as far as learning is concerned. And to give you 30 seconds as we also conclude, kindly tell us about what you think can create a better learning environment for the students, but also call them to be able to be part of the forthcoming AGM. 30 seconds.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ivan. I feel what is best for students to, the very first thing, I want to thank His Excellency the President. We have peace in the country. That is #1 qualification for all the students in the country to feel safe and sound, to do whatever they feel like they want to do. 2, I want to take this opportunity and I invite all the students across the country in your respective capacities. Please come. And we have our National Council. We are waiting for you. We are preparing. We have the chief guest as His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. I don't know if you understand what that means, but we are having our chief patron, the patron of the association, part of us. So, dear students, it's a place to be. It's a place to be. Yeah. It's a place to be.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Bosa. Thank you so much, Paul, for being a part of this discussion. Certainly, thank you so much for being a very, very great viewer of this program. And now I'm hopeful that you've been able to understand what Unsa is all about, what their plans are. But continue with this conversation on our social media platforms, on X, on Facebook. Give us feedback on what you think about Unsa and how they are faring. But also you can give suggestions on how they can make the associations to be more efficient to serve the interests of the students, because that's what actually they're supposed to be doing. Thank you so much for watching the National Youth Channel, U24. We are here to give you a platform as young people to also be able to speak to the issues that are happening in this country, make your lives better, get transformed. Not forgetting that by transforming yourselves, you can transform your families, transform your country, transform East Africa, and transform Africa as a whole. Thank you so much for being a part of us this afternoon. My name is Ivan Tumkunde. See you next time. More interesting programming is coming your way. U24 Cinema is coming up next. Bye-bye.
Anyone who wants to become a pledge.
What fresh
Up next.